What do you think is likely to happen next on Taiwan? Everybody dissected Xi's speech very carefully, looking for clues on what could happen with Taiwan next. He's not broken any new ground. Is it because he intends to act and not speak, or do you think the fact that he hasn't made any more provocative statements suggests, at least for the next 5 years, he doesn't intend to move militarily against Taipei?
I think that all depends on what America in particular and Taiwan do. They both have elections in 2024, and that's going to be a difficult moment, because if you have an American president potentially who is going to be much more assertive on Taiwan and recognition of Taiwan, and you have a Taiwanese president who may also be assertive, then there's going to clearly be an enormous problem. I think China's aware that this is an issue where at the moment there is no easy resolution. A military solution would be a catastrophe for everyone. Russia and Ukraine has proved that war is a hugely risky adventure, and indeed an amphibious landing is far more difficult. So I don't see this leadership wanting to accelerate any action at the moment unless provoked. But of course, their nationalistic kind of philosophy means that this issue will not go away. I think they're just going to continue to try and apply pressure diplomatically on Taiwan and try and make sure that their interests are asserted with an idea of an outcome, but not a deadline for that outcome.
How do you see Beijing and Washington DCs relationship evolve over the next 5 years? That is the central relationship which defines in many ways the new emerging global order. We've seen Biden and Xi try to at least be in touch with each other, so it doesn't seem as if there's a complete communication breakdown, but there still is a lot of testiness and edginess in that relationship.
I don't think it's going to be an easy relationship in the next 5 years. The only question is, will it get worse? I mean, it's pretty bad at the moment. And so, this is not a very ambitious target. The main thing is to make sure it doesn't get worse. As I said, the big event will be the election in 2024, the end of 2024. And what happens as a result of that? I mean, that could be a new candidate who could even be more assertive on China, and things will just kind of deteriorate. The issue really is that America is obviously anxious, and at some points almost panicking about China, which is too strong now to just manage. And it's not quite worked out a way of, kind of allowing China space in some areas, but, really kind of making sure that it asserts its interests in others. This is not going to be something that can be resolved. This is the new geopolitics. We have to be realistic about this and manage this. We can't resolve it. We just have to manage it. And the question is America and China, able to do that, or will they be overwhelmed by their incompatibility sometimes?
According to you, when you research the initial days of Xi Jinping, his rise in the party, what makes him different from all the communist leaders before him? Not since Mao Zedong has any one Chinese leader concentrated so much power in his hands. Not in the world is anyone else with this kind of power, with the absence of the kind of checks that would be there on a leader in a country like the United States or even in India. What makes Xi tick? What makes him different? What makes him special?
Well, there's a very, in my mind, simple answer to that. What makes him different is because China is different now. I mean, Mao Zedong was the ruler of China when it was a relatively small, undeveloped and marginalized economy. And Xi Jinping is the ruler of China when it's, in pole position to be the world's largest economy. Xi Jinping is the ruler of China when it's the biggest trading partner for 120 plus countries, when it's the world's second biggest military. It is so many things where China today is not like it was even, 20 years ago or 25 years ago. In 1989, the Chinese economy was 3% the size of the Chinese economy today. So this is a different place. It's like a driver who has gone from driving, a small kind of power car to getting into, a high horsepower car with lots more kind of capacity. the driver might be the same, but the thing they're driving is totally different. Xi Jinping is, I think, a confident and assertive leader, that's for sure. But the basis of that is that he has a country which is so much more, powerful economically, geopolitically, and military than ever before.